Alright guys, you know the drill, we have a brand new No Man's Sky update, and this time around it's called Endurance. Not only does it come with some nice base building overhauls for the freighter bases, but it also comes in with another expedition really soon. Some nice changes over there for you if you kind of wanted to change up the freighter gameplay a bit and make things look a bit more interesting. So we're going to dive into all of that and more in this video. Now let's get started, of course, with some of the highlights. At the time of filming this video, there's no patch notes yet, but we do have a few highlights over the update quick notes in the game itself. The game has been updated on Steam and it comes with the following changes. Freighter bases have been overhauled with a vast array of new parts and the ability to build outside, that we're going to check in just a little bit. Base building in general has also been improved with many new quality of life features. Player built freighters are now inhabited by their own crews, so finally we do have crewmates roaming on our freighter bases. The Asteroid Fields have been visually refreshed and look more dramatic than ever before. Players can earn an entire fleet of procedurally generated organic frigates in case you really enjoyed those, and there's a bunch of other changes in there that we're going to check in just a little bit. But I do want to start things off with the brand new freighter experience, which changes as soon as you jump in the hangar area. Like, as soon as you go inside, you will notice that the area is much larger than before, and at least with the solar ships, there's no longer any clipping issues going on, at least nowhere near the scale they were before. As soon as you kind of check your surroundings, you will notice that a lot of stuff has changed, not just in terms of the atmospheric effects, like the nice fog going on with the lights and all, giving it some nice effects, but there's also some brand new additions. Specifically, if we take a look at the stair areas, these have also been slightly altered, and we're gonna check like the other side in just a little bit. But the main feature we're gonna pay attention to right here is going to be these two towers on each side of the rails, because inside of it, you guessed it, you got a brand new teleporter that brings you straight to the captain's quarters, which I think is a really nice new addition. Actually, there's a bunch of teleporters on each side of like this entire area right here, the main deck area, that you can use to quickly teleport back to the hangars and come back, so you don't have to always take the stairs like how it was in the previous updates. Also, on the subject of stairs, another cool addition is the fact that they no longer pass through the buildable areas or through the base building section, but rather takes a small detour and reaches the side of the crew cabin right here. So you can see pretty much kind of skipping the entire section, and you no longer have to worry about clipping through them and going through all of the other issues that we had before. But with that being said and done, let's talk about the base building. As soon as you go in the buildable areas, you're going to notice a major overhaul to the layout and the way the rooms look. Especially if you already had a few of these rooms being built, they have been changed to the new aesthetics. One thing that you likely noticed is the fact that there's a bunch of NPCs roaming here, so this is also a new addition. Your crewmates actually roam the freighter, very similar to how it is, for example, in your settlement. So I'm kind of glad that Hello Games added this feature on our freighter bases as well. But the biggest highlight is definitely going to be the build menus and the new additions over there, the new rooms, the new construction, the new stuff that looks really great. Of course, if you want to get access to the legacy modules, you still have that option right here at the end, but the new ones are much better and, in my opinion, way more improved. So we're gonna begin with a few modules that I really enjoyed. Specifically, if you take a look at some of the fleet command rooms, these have also been changed, so now kind of like the entire thing is in the middle and you get access to it from all sides. But probably my favorite new addition are these new cultivation chambers. Basically, these are kind of like the biodomes that we have for the regular bases, except you can apply them to your freighter instead. They also look aesthetically really nice, like they definitely look like a plant room, so to speak. Definitely seems to be really nice. There's a middle section over there with some dirt where you can obviously place down whatever plant you want to, depending on whatever, kind of like farm you want to create. Unfortunately, you can only place 2 of them in a single room instead of 16, how it is on biodomes. But you can build a lot more of these cultivation chambers and kind of make a huge base or area of your freighter that can hold up like maybe dozens of plants if you want to. I have not yet fully tested how many of these you can collect. Presumably it only takes into account however many you planted, but there is a nice button prompt in the middle that lets you automatically collect everything, again very similar to the biodomes on planets. There's also a plant specialist. The same one from your base can now be applied to your freighter and kind of completes the look, and it makes it look really nice and tidy. But there's some other changes in there that I really enjoyed. One of them is the fact that you now have access to modules that you didn't before, or at the very least I wasn't aware of until recently. Specifically, the short range teleporter is one of them, and now you can fully place it within the limits of your freighter base. This is going to be super needed, as now you can pretty much extend it to some crazy levels. So eventually it's going to come in handy. You can place one at one end and the second one at a different end, and then connect them with a cable. They don't need any power-ups. They fully work as soon as you place them down, and then just teleport between these locations, especially if your base is already kind of large. Another major advantage is the fact that you also get access to some refiner rooms, so you no longer have to like build refiners as they look kind of odd. You just build these large refiner rooms and they give you the same functionality without much of a cost as a large refiner. You kind of get all of the other benefits, the inputs and the outputs, and you can break down or combine elements as much as you want. But on the same note, let's also talk about some other functionalities of the freighter. Another one really awesome is the fact that you can now finally teleport directly to whatever freighter you want, as long as it's unlocked and you have it in your fleet. Instead of having to manually travel to it, you just pick it from the fleet menu, teleport over there. It's almost instant, and you can get access to everything that you did before. Similarly, if you do happen to land on a freighter, you will now notice there's a couple of terminals, including a short-range teleporter that lets you directly teleport to your main deck on your freighter. I find that to be quite awesome, to say the least. And there's also, on the same note, another quick access to your freighter base. Now it also appears to teleporter modules. Your bases section, you will notice it right there next to your settlement, in case you also have that one. Speaking of settlements and like changing stuff, your freighter also has a brand new customization, which is for the jets on the back of it. So far, I was able to unlock just the green one. I'm not exactly sure what you need to do to unlock the rest of them, but I do know that one of them is tied to brand new expedition number 8 that we're going to check in just a little bit. I found that to be quite interesting, but yeah, that's pretty much how it's going to look like on the freighter side. Now in space, there's also a bunch of changes, the biggest and the most cinematic being the fact that Asteroid Fields look more gorgeous than ever before and way more dramatic, as Hello Games put it. As soon as you log in the game and head over to any new asteroid field, you will notice that there's a heck ton of new asteroids being generated around you. So many, in fact, that at first I was kind of scared this would affect performance, but I am happy to say that at least on my system, it did not affect that one bit. It still works exactly the same. There are some pop-in issues, but for the most part, yeah, there's some really good performance given the fact that there's like hundreds if not thousands of small objects being, yeah, kind of rendered at the same time. Also, on a similar note with asteroids, you're no longer going to see the same asteroid field every single location you go into, but instead there is going to be a lot more variety when it comes to it and the way it spawns, including the fact that small asteroids and kind of like single pieces of asteroid can spawn around you, not just huge fields, for example. So you can go through something like this that's way more sparse instead of being like super condensed with a lot of them. I really appreciate this change, and I kind of like the direction Hello Games is moving into. Now on a final note, there's also expedition number 8. It seems that this one is going to be called Polestar Expedition, and we already have a few of the unlockables available at the NPC on the Space Anomaly. Of course, we do have to complete this, but one of them, as I've said, is going to be the high gravity freighter trail. This is going to be what you can apply to your freighter, and hopefully it's going to look a little bit better than just having a purple color over there in the back. For our characters, we also get a new cape with the new expedition, and it seems that it does feature a compass over there on the back, so definitely something that I'm going to focus on. And outside of that, you just get the decals and the other cosmetics and stuff you can apply to your base or to your character. Overall, looks pretty nice. Not the big 4.0 update. I think that's still going to drop within like a month or two, but this is still a nice distraction in the meantime. Of course, totally let me know down below what feature do you enjoy the most about this new update, or have you even tested it yet? Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.